Hello guys, it's Will from Magic's Friendly Tavern, and today we're doing another tournament, courtesy of Tyler and the Homebrew Crew. And this is a $20 tournament with a $5 sideboard for a prize of a 6-pack code of New Capenna on MTGA. We are playing on Untap.in, and we have begun. We are good to go. Let me let the boys know we are good. And the first thing we have going is a Tome Scour from, I do believe this is Sith Lord Cadus. He has an island in play, so the Sith Lord has now played Tome Scour, and we put 5 cards into the graveyard. Over on this side, we'll view those. Those will be a Ominous Seas, a mountain, an island, a Temple of Epiphany, and a mountain. Ooh, that was a lot of lands in that. So we'll go ahead and close that. We can see that he has a Fractured Sanity, and a Sleep. That is a lot of mill. Then a little bit of creature control. Up here in our friend's hand, he's got 2 mountains, an island in play. He's got a Fire Prophecy in hand to deal 3 damage to target creature. And you can put a card from your hand in the bottom of your library if you do draw a card. He's got a counter spell, but it's only against permanents he controls. He's got another Ominous Seas. That must be the way that he wins. Yeah, it's just is a Spellslinger deck. That's a lot of mill. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a tight game. He's already got 9 in the graveyard after what he's hit him with. I'm guessing he's needing to put down them islands, though, to play this Fractured Sanity. He does get a Ruin Crab into play. That's nasty. There's the Landfall trigger. So we'll see 3 more cards into 2/3/4's hand, or into 2/3/4's graveyard, I should say. So yeah, with the limited budget of only $20 and $5 for the sideboard, he drew into a Thrill of Possibility, which will really help him out here. He's got to get some type of action going. Well, of course, he's gonna bolt the crab before he does anything, and I don't blame him there, especially after getting out the Ominous Seas. We'll go ahead and get a Foreshadow counter on it from drawing a card. And he might draw another card here to get another counter here. Well, it looks like he does, yes. He needs 8 Foreshadow counters on it to make that 8/8. He does have an Izzet Charm in his hand to put 2 more counters on it if he draws 2 and discards 2. There's another draw 2 and discard 2. It's an additional cost. He's got to discard a spell. Look at this. If he discards 2 cards, he can draw 3 cards. So he can really ramp that out there and dig through his deck to find exactly what he needs. What he needs is some counter spells. He needs to watch out for this Consuming Apparition our opponent just drew. And up here, the Sith Lord has also drew another Tome Scour. But he goes ahead and plays a Consuming Apparition. Now would be the time to dig for some sort of counterspell if you're running any. He might not even be running any. I guess he said somehow drew into this Ironcrag Pyromancer. Did they pass the turn? we'll see what happens. Yep, there goes Thrill of Possibility. I do believe he's discarding these two cards. Or that card, I'm sorry, he's discarding that card. And he drew into another Thrill of Possibility and into a Nadir Kraken. Then I guess he draws for turn. Plays another mountain here that's no help. If he wanted to put out this Kraken, which when you draw a card you may put 1, put a +1/+1 on it, make a 1/1 blue tentacle, that would be pretty good for him right now. So he really needed a blue source there instead of that next red source. He is very close to getting an 8/8. This Consuming Aberration, though, is more cards in your opponent's graveyard. It's a 15/15. That's scary. That's very scary. I can imagine that's why 2, 3, 4 is in the tank really hard. Alright, we get the Ironcrag Pyromancer into play as a 0/4. Tome Scour comes down. There makes the 22 cards in the graveyard. Okay. Still a possibility. Discarding another card, drawing 2 cards. There goes Izzet Charm. Draws 2 islands. Is able to put out the Octopus this turn. And also make an 8/8. He'll be able to block the Aberration. There's the 8/8 right there. Nice looking token too. Here's the Kraken. He'll make 1/1 tentacles. He can block the Aberration all day. He just has to remember that he is slowly losing to being milled out unless he's got an Eldrazi or some other form of shuffle in there to put his cards from his graveyard back into his library. We see a sleep. That sleep might be the ender of the game right here. I forgot about it. Yeah, he's had that in his hand for a while. That's game. 2, 3, 4 could take that attack from that giant aberration. That was pretty much 24-24. So we're going to move on to the next game, I bet. Just keep paying attention here. Oh. Okay. Not a problem. We're shuffling up, drawing their 7. And we should get back to the action here soon. Oh, we got land heavy hand right down here with an exhaustion, fractured sanity, ratchet bomb, and tome scour. I wonder how many of these are sideboard cards. And we also have our hand up here, which is 2 islands, a stern dismissal, an opt, an Ominous Seas, a thrill of possibility, and an Ominous Seas. This seems like a pretty good hand against what's going on here, and looks good to me. And we start out with an island. Here we also have an island come out into a tome scour, which is middle of the top 5 cards of their library. So 5 cards go into the library. We'll check what those cards were. Ooh, blue-red, mountain, keep safe, and an island. Alright. So you see the second island come down for 2, 3, 4. And it is Ominous Seas, the Sith Lord. Comes down with 2 islands. And goes ahead and plays out his Ratchet Bomb. Go ahead and get them counters on it so he can blow up those 8/8s. If he leaves it with no counters right now, he can take them out, though. I put 1 counter on it. Is it 1 counter and more or less equal to the number of charge counters on it? Under mana cost equal. Yeah, he should have left it with no counters. Then he would have been able to take out the 8/8s as they were made. But he doesn't know that. Apparently. That's fine, though. Maybe he's thinking for something else in the deck that I'm not thinking of. Of course, he also doesn't realize that this 2, 3, 4's also got 2 of these Ominous Seas in his hand. He might be Ratchet Bombing up to try and blow up both Ominous Seas. Which he can do. He can put 2 counters on it, blow up this Ominous Seas. If he puts out this another Ominous Seas, he can do this. So what I'm thinking is the reason that 2, 3, 4 didn't play out both Ominous Seas is he's letting him Ratchet Bomb up the 2 to blow up the 1, so then he can play it out and it'd be safe, which is a fine play. Fine play. I just would have left it blank, so it would have been able to blow up the counters that were made off these Ominous Seas. I would have let him play out as many as he wanted and let him take it up as much as he wanted before taking it out. But, that also would have left me a long time to be open to him hitting my Ratchet Bomb with, say, a smelt or a shatter, or some effect that blows up artifacts. It's give or take. I just think it's better value the longer you leave the ratchet bomb out there as a threat. Well, now Harry's untapped with the ratchet bomb. He can decide to blow up this Autonomous Seas if he wants or not. We'll see what happens. Alright, well, he's tapping out 3, and he's going to go ahead and get his Fractured Sanity out there. 14 cards. That's going to fuel out an Aberration if he can hope to draw into it. He's up to enough mana. He'll be playing his fifth land next turn. Ooh, that's a lot of cards. A lot of what we've already seen, though. Not much difference. Of course, you want your decks, especially in a 20 life format, you want your decks as redundant as possible, so that's fine. That's exactly what you want to be seeing. These are pretty built decks for being only $20, I'm telling you. These guys know what they're doing. And see there, the Sith Lord has decided not to just crack the Ratchet Bomb willy-nilly. He's got 2 counters on it. That's pretty good. But here he's going to have to make a decision pretty soon as to cracking the Ratchet Bomb to keep an 8/8 from coming out. He may not be that worried about it because he has the exhaustions in hand. There comes down the Irencrag Pyromancer. The Ratchet Bomb is being tapped. And down goes the Autonomous Seas. And here we see a Ruin Crab. So what's better value here? Just to hit on a mill for 14 more, or to go ahead and play the Ruin Crab? I think he's going to play the Ruin Crab. I think that's a little better value. 0-4 versus a 0-3. Let them duke it out all day long. They don't have defender. They could attack each other. Just nothing would happen. So for the problem of playing the Ruin Crab into the Irencrag Pyromancer is now all he has to do is play these 2 spells, and he gets a free kill on this Ruin Crab. Yeah, the Ruin Crab came in and he milled 3 for 1, and he caused a trigger to go onto this, but then he's going to play an Exhaustion. I don't follow why. So creatures do not untap during the next untap step. Creatures and lands. Oh. So he's going to hobble his opponent by not letting them untap their lands in the next untap step. That seems fine. I forgot that's what Exhaustion does. That's pretty... That's old school right there. That's 9th edition. That's why that's so painful. Ooh. Isn't that crippling? Alright. So with just 3 mana, let's see what our opponent can do. They're going to play Thrill of Possibility first. They are going to draw into a Nadir Kraken for turn. Power Prophecy, and an Ironcrag Pyromancer. They're going to pass the turn. Here, I think, is where we're going to see the other exhaustion. Just keep your opponent pinned down there, huh? And that is exactly what we see. Exhaustion number 2. So 2, 3, 4 is in a tough jam right now. He's basically being time walked by his opponent. Milled again. 4, 14. 42 cards in the graveyard. That is what I calculated, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong. Oh, that's a lot of cards in the graveyard. So 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. He has 5 cards left in his library. That's not very many turns left to pull this game into check. He's got some firepower if he can get it down, but 5 turns is a short clock. And it looks like he's opting to play 2 spells. He'll get a free lightning bolt here, which I'm sure he'll send to the Sith Lord's face. He's putting down a Nadir Kraken, and because of this Fire Prophecy, the second spell that he's played, and it deals 3 damage to a target creature. So he's gonna have to target the creature. It looks like he's gonna target one of his own creatures, and put an Ironcrag to the bottom of his library, and drew into a Temple of Epiphany, it looks like. Paid 1 to put a counter on the Nadir Kraken and make it tentacle. So it's trying to build up an army. Not seeing what he did with that 3 damage, though, that he got from doing that. Maybe I missed, but that should have been the second. And this again. Draw your second card. Okay. My apologies. Not when you play 2 spells. Okay, that would be, yeah, because that would be really, really good. Draw your second card. That's not a problem. On his first draw for his turn, he went ahead and made another tentacle. And so if he draws another card this turn, then he will get a free 3 damage from this Ironcrag Pyromancer, which he drew for his turn last turn, and then he also drew from the Fire Pyromancy. So I do believe he's still got a bolt trigger from this, but I'm not interfering with any games. I'm not making any judge calls, but I'd go back and review that. I could be mistaken. I have been mistaken before. My job is to record and entertain, and not to interfere with the games. So there was a bolt trigger this time because of the opt. There's the second card he drew with the Scry 1 and put him a mountain in the hand. No help there either, but he was hoping for some action. Says he's getting a little low. Then we have an attack right here for 3, putting the Sith Lord further down to 11. It looks like the Sith Lord is taking his turn. Drew into a swamp, no help there. He's got 2 swamps in hand, so, and basically no action on the board. So 2-3-4 is definitely in the driver's seat. Definitely in the driver's seat. Appears we have some more drawing of the cards, more making of the tentacles. We have more bolting with the Pyromancer. Well, he's played out a second Pyromancer. That'll give him 6 damage a turn. I mean, if I were the Sith here, I'd just go ahead and pack it up and go for game 3. I mean, it is tied 1. It would be tied 1v1. Right now, he's buried in card advantage. You know, there's not really much coming back from this kind of angle. Yep, and there we go to the third game. And we shall return in from there. So far, this has been a pretty interesting match, I would have to say. Titus has already shuffled his deck. It looks like the Sith Lord is still in the middle of sideboarding, and that's fine. You know, especially in this third match where everything's on the table. Remember, there is a prize for this game, a 6-pack code for MTGA. Yes, and now the Sith Lord has definitely shuffled his deck, and we can begin. Hand is drawn. Hand is drawn. Looks like we had a mulligan. A Nadir Kraken. Yes, we did have one. Yeah. Ominous Seas, Annul, and Stern Dismissal with 2 lands. Fire Prophecy, Nadir Kraken. Alright. 2 lands. Fractured Sanity. A Ruin Crab. Mind Sculpt. 7 cards is what that mills. And a Swamp. Okay. Seems good. And we're going to start off, obviously, with the Sith Lord going first since he lost last game. And he's going to play an Island and a Ruin Crab. A very good start with his land-heavy hand. He's not going to be able to play this Fractured Sanity for a while because the trip's blue. But I'm pretty sure he did not want to mulligan again. I wouldn't want to mulligan again. Down goes the Temple of Epiphany for 2-3-4. We're untapping right now on Sith Lord's side. Drew into another island. That's perfect. If he draws into a third island, even with his heavy hand, he gets to mill 3 off the Ruin Crab, and he sets up for being able to play the Fractured Sanity, which he gets also to Mind Sculpt this turn, which allows him to also mill for 7. So 7 plus 3, which would be, it should be 11 or 10. 10, yeah, 10. Yeah, yeah. It's okay. That's why you always double check the math, and it's okay to count on your fingers. Magic is a forgiving game with that. We have a red and a blue here into a fire prophecy. You can imagine he's killing that ruin crab. That's exactly what he's doing. I do not blame him in the least. That's 11 cards in his graveyard. It's only turn 1, turn 2. Draws into another swamp. That's really no help to him. That's really no help to him. He needs some action here, especially if he's going to stay on top of this or and then the deer kraken's just really going to get him, especially if he just keeps drawing into more swamps. That's like the last thing he wants to see. It looks like he's going to go ahead and cycle the Fractured Sanity, which is going to make his opponent mill 4 cards, but he's going to get to draw a card, and he draws into an Exhaustion. That might keep him in the game for a little bit if we can just keep moving it along. Now we see an Ironcrag Pyromancer. This would be a perfect time to put that down. But he goes ahead and gets his Ominous Seas down, which that's a perfect time to draw that too. That's fine. But you kind of want to maximize your mana. So you're always going to want to tap out on turn 3, 4, 3 drop. You're always going to tap out on turn 4, 4, 4 drop. See, he could have played the Ominous Seas on turn 4 with 2 mana left up for a Stern to Missile and an Annul. You know, right now, here comes a spell that he could have maybe done something about. Maybe not. Can imagine he's casting the blue-black side. Target player puts the top 8 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So there's another mill. 8 cards, it's a lot. And there's some action he drew into. 23 cards into the graveyard. Now he draws an Opt. He doesn't have a 4th land to play, so now he's going to have to choose between the Ironcrag, or if he wants to leave up counter magic and play the Opt. It's really his choice which one he wants to do. What's he fearing from his opponent at this point? He's got to get some type of clock on his opponent. He goes in and plays a Kraken. That's good. I think that was a very good play. I think that was a smart play here. So what he does know is he knows his opponent's low on cards. What he doesn't know is his opponent's holding an Exhaustion, which is pretty backbreaking. But our opponent's going to have to hit something like, hopefully he sprung for a Traumatize. Maybe it's not in his budget, but maybe he got 1 or 2. This is both of our opponents are kind of far from a clock at this point, but that Kraken is going to get out of hand by adding that +1 damage every single turn. It's not multiplicative, but it does add up quickly. All right, here comes another island. But he had to tap to pay 1 for the Nadir Kraken's effect to get that 1/1. And it looks like he's sending the Kraken over the line. Gives a +1/+1 counter on it. I forgot about that. So it's now a 3/4. So Sith Lord here taking a little damage, going to 17. It looks like. Oh, he gets a sleep as well. He's exhaustion and sleep, so he can keep himself alive for 2 turns if he absolutely wants to. And it does look like he is playing the sleep. Tap both creatures and they don't untap during the next player's untap step. So that gives him a little bit of breathing room. Okay. There's a little rearranging right now. And it looks like it is now the Sith Lord's turn. And out of him, we see the exhaustion fired off right away. So that means the Nadir Kraken and that tentacle will not untap. That land will not untap. If 2/3/4 goes to play anything at this moment, the lands that he taps under this and then the Sacred Dissolves will also not be able to play. But he does have a Stern Dismissal. What does that do again? Turns every creature enchantment and opponent controls so it's under his hand. There's no help here. Null's no help here either. Just go ahead and let that exhaustion resolve. Beat down with the one tentacle, and then just wait until all my stuff comes back up. Because he basically, you have your opponent with no cards in hand. Your opponent's stuck to the random top of the shuffler to his deck and appears not to have put any card draw in his deck. I think you're pretty safe, especially when he's going to mill you and not just run you down with damage. Because in milling someone, it takes 60 cards to mill them out, where it's only 20 damage to kill them with creatures. And one creature can do all 20 damage. So milling is much harder. And for every card that you put in your deck that mills, you have to take a card out that either attacks or is removal. So it's one weaker slot than every other card in your deck. That's why milling doesn't always work. That's its weak point. Yeah, when it does work, it's flashy and it's cool, and it can get down to business pretty quickly. But that is its weakness, is it has to count to a higher number. But I wish everybody in this tournament good luck. I love seeing these decks. It's awesome. Again, this is Tyler and the Homebrew Crew. Make sure to give them a shout out. This is just round one. I'll be doing as many rounds as there are. I'll be recording all of them. Here we see an Irencrag Pyromancer go down. Looks like they went ahead and made a Tentacle, and they're casting an Opt. Looks like they're trying to get a trigger off one of their Irencrag Pyromancers, if not both, and put this game pretty much done. Alright. Let me double check something. I think the match is over. Well, they're still at the table. And it looks like drew and played from Sith Lord, A Mind Funeral. Mind Funeral is one of those cards that has very high variance, but usually hits like a truck. Usually 12 to 15, maybe sometimes 20. It's because it's just 4 land cards, and the less lands you run, the more susceptible you are to it. Um, it's just a nasty, nasty little card. But pretty much, I do believe this is still in 2/3/4 favor. All right, and that's over. I do believe 2/3/4 is taking it. It's called, and yep, there it goes. Again, my name is Will from Magic the Friendly Tavern, on half of the Homebrew Crew and Association, bringing you the tournament of $20 decks with $5 card sideboards. I hope you're having fun, as much fun as I am. Signing off. Uh, Happy pack pulls, and as always, happy games.